Stuff lovers, something, something, stuff lovers, scrambled eggs. We still don't have a theme song yet. So that's the fill-in for the theme song, the Frasier theme song.
I like it. I just kept saying on my way up to your doorstep, Frasier, Frasier, Frasier.
That's our guest today. She's a local comedian and podcast hostess, Jessica K. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, thank you. Hello.
To the Frasier episode of Stuff Lovers.
Stuff Lovers. I like the name.
Yeah.
I love the name.
Yeah. Ben came up with it like one night and he sent me a whole list of names. And I was like into it, but I thought it reminded me of like stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. So I was like, I don't know about it. And then he said he was worried I would think of like sex or something. Like when I thought of it, like it sounded like porny. It does sound a little porny, I guess, but
it does. Well,
yeah.
that's fine.
Stuff lovers.
Stuff lovers.
Stuff can be anything.
Man.
Including Frasier.
I want pizza so bad. I'm gonna get some stuff.
Oh yeah, Jessica ordered a pizza, so look forward to that. And I probably before the second act. I don't know.
We were watching Frasier, believe it or not. And
yeah.
Yeah.
What would the Frasier intertitles be that just played right before this podcast started? Like it would be like. But it's like a pun about the situation, so I'm not really good at puns.
They're really good at puns.
Puns, like, terrify me as a comedian. Like, I just feel like I could never make an adequate pun for the people because they're, like, wordplay, and I'm never satisfied. I'm always toiling at the end of the day for a better pun.
I don't know. I'm not a big pun person.
But, yeah, but the Frasier has the intertitles, in between scenes. I just keep thinking about that. It's weird.
I think mine would read, so like, it would read, haven't eaten shit. Watches, and then I watch a ton of 2 episodes of Frasier, my favorites, and I'm cracking up and just wishing I could eat pizza.
Yeah.
Because there was an episode with pizza, and I was like, I gotta order pizza.
I
knew it was coming, they didn't.
The famous pizza shop they always hang out at on Frasier.
No, they don't.
No, I know, I'm kidding. Okay, but no, Frasier's really different. Our first episode was about Star Wars, but that's like the thing I want to do with this podcast is like, you know, you can be a fan of anything, and Jessica's a huge fan of Frasier. Whenever I spoke to her about it, because I wanted her to be a guest, I was like, what do you want to do? And I was thinking Space Jam, because
I love Space Jam.
She loves Space Jam, and she had that Space Jam birthday party I went to like a year ago. And she was like, Frasier, and I was like, oh my god, I love to just watch Frasier reruns, like, with no context. Like, I have no idea, like, where I'm going, because it was on for, like, 45 years.
Yeah.
It's like, is Frasier gonna look like a classical composer, you know, when he had that hair? Or is it gonna be like when, like, Daphne and Niles are, like, having a baby? I don't know. There's all these, like, different eras of Frasier.
I got mixed up because when I started watching Frasier.
Yeah.
I was, like, out of order.
Syndicated, yeah. That's how I watch Friends, too. So Friends, I have that sort of weird relationship where it's like, oh, is this gonna be like late Friends where like Monica and Chandler are adopting a baby, or is it gonna be like early Friends, like when they like would never fuck each other, like whatever. But yeah, Frasier sort of has that too because of Niles and Daphne and their whole long weird relationship.
I know. It's like she didn't even know that he was like so in love with her. Like,
yeah.
I caught wind-ish, but I was thinking no.
Sitcoms, you know, they always gotta have a little bit of a like, will they or won't they? I don't know. I think they want to fuck, but...
And then there's jumping the shark.
Oh yeah, you jump the shark if it gets boring. Like, people want the excitement.
Yeah, they like that tension.
They love the hidden relationship and whatever.
Can I
people
show you
are
guys
sexy.
my fan art, or is that in a minute?
No, yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna go through a little bit of, let's go through your,
that's all.
let's go through your fan history first. Let's go through, and we'll kind of get to it. No, it's fine.
I made this.
So, okay, like, bring us back to the beginning, Jessica. When did you first get into Frasier? Did you see him on Cheers, or did you, like, watch it in reruns? Like, what, like, okay, just go back to the beginning.
Okay, so, watched Cheers, but never ever really paid attention to Frasier, or, like, knew that was that guy's name.
Yeah.
And, but that was when I was young, and a kid. And, then...
Like, you were, like, 11, 10,
I was,
maybe?
like, 6, 7.
6? Oh, so you were, like... You were like a highbrow little girl. Like, you were like walking around like, I only drink Cosmopolitans and hang out on balconies in Seattle.
No. That was just with Cheers.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I didn't pay attention. I just knew the main characters and not really Frasier.
Yeah.
And so
I get that.
My first time I ever remember seeing an episode of Frasier was I wanted to watch that movie It.
Oh,
and
God.
It was on television.
Yeah.
It was a 3-part series.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about...
I also saw that as a child.
9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
And then my brother was like, it's not on yet. You have, it's after this show, and it was Frasier.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, fine. I'm just gonna watch this show, and then I'm gonna watch it. Because I don't know. And for some reason, he just felt like I wasn't gonna be able to watch it, and I was gonna be scared and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't gonna make it through fucking whatever I had to get to watch it. Point is, it was an episode of Frasier.
Yeah.
And I kept it on, and I watched it. And I didn't get any of it, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to when I was like probably 15.
Mm-hmm.
I started. It was part of my nightly routine of like 3 shows. I had a TV in my room. I only had basic channels.
I remember those days.
That, and then I'd watch like those blind date shows after that.
Yes! Oh my God, what happened to those?
I don't know.
There were so many for so long.
And like Fifth Wheel and stuff like that.
Fifth Wheel and Blind Date and like what was the one? Eliminate, the one with the bus. I was gonna say.
And I love the theatrics of Frasier, and in high school was a big theater person.
Yeah.
So timing was really important for me.
It does play it feels like a play a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So I admired that, and I have like a side of my family that's like partly snooty-ish, and so like I understand some of those jokes, but at the same time, the other side of my family is like Martin Crane. So
it's like the marriage is there.
Yeah, and and so I wanted to know what was happening throughout I wanted to keep finishing the story. Yeah. And so I started slowly asking. I started asking for it on DVD.
Like for Christmas or your birthday and stuff.
Or, if I had a little extra money, I would go and buy it from Overstock.com.
Oh, yeah. That's like back in the day. Like, I mean, I love technology, like, evolves so fast. Like, now it's like all on Netflix. Like, that was how I felt about Buffy. Like, I was like, I need Buffy. And then I got the complete series, and then immediately after it was like on Netflix. And so I was like, God damn it.
I could have rented it probably at one point when I finally decided to get Netflix. They only were doing discs, and I was like, screw that. Like, you only get one disc at a time if that's your
It's just Frasier's like, it's one of those long sitcoms because there's like Netflix 24 episodes a season. So, but okay, so you've been a fan for a while, and there's been like a lot of different things that like suck to you. But like, this is like maybe when we can talk about your art. But like, when was the moment where you felt like you were like a geek about Frasier? Like you were like into it.
So like when I was in high school and like I had like this. I was phasing out through best friends or whatever that's what happens. And she said something. I for some reason mentioned my nightly routine of going to bed and watching Frasier. And she was like, "Oh my God, Frasier!" And I was like, "Okay, guess that's not cool." And then I had another best friend that would give me shit for loving Frasier. She was a Seinfeld person. Oh my
God! Oh, I was a Seinfeld person too.
Someone I transitioned to hated it too. Trust me, high school, there was no Frasier Club. There was a Seinfeld Club. No Frasier Club. And I was even one of those, it doesn't matter. So, that's how I found out I was nerdy. And the fact that I had finished my collection in 2007.
Oh, so that was like just a few years after Frasier ended, too. Damn. So did you like work your way up? You were like, you bought this randomly?
Frasier's storyline is about as messed up as my own.
It's like mixed.
It's like, it's just like,
it's all over the place.
Time with the thing. I don't know what happened.
Well, Frasier's like we said before, is such an old character. Like, he's one of the, he's the oldest live action character tied with like a character from Gunsmoke, because he was on Cheers too.
And
so
the SVU guy Munch.
Oh.
Also on Homicide: Life in the Street.
Oh. So there's like another tie there. Okay.
Wait, what?
Detective Munch from Law and Order.
SVU. He's from Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Yeah.
I used to watch Homicide: Life on the Streets with my mom.
Homicide: Life on the Streets.
It used to scare me. It was scary. There was Homicide and Life on the Street.
Mooch fellow, he's in Frasier?
No. This is just like Frasier. Kelsey Grammer has been playing Frasier for as long as like these other two people have played these characters for like 20 years.
Have you seen that episode of Frasier where Daphne Moon's brother is Simon, and Simon's from Law and Order or something, but he really has like that accent in real life.
Like that, the British accent's his real accent. Okay.
Yeah. Can you look at that up or look up?
Is he? He's on Law and Order. Yeah, Ben. Get that going.
Look up
Captain Ben.
Simon Moon.
Simon Moon.
Just Google's. Okay. Okay. So here's the next question, Jessica, for you. How did your family feel about your love for Frasier? Did they have any opinions?
My dad, I think my parents think it's cool and they understood, they weirdly respected my desire not to get them all at once. And kind of earn them. And I wanted to
collect them, like it's like a little collection.
Like, oh yay, I got one. I've gotten doubles before.
Oh yeah.
In 1 year. Which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I would treat myself to one. So, but yeah, I think it's something I can watch with my dad, and they know I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, they know I love it.
Yeah. Oh, the pizza's here. Okay. While Jessica gets her pizza, I'm gonna talk a bit about Frasier and how weird it is. What's with Frasier's view? What's that all about? Why you can see the Space Needle? That's not real. I Wikipedia that. That's not a real view. It's a view from like a cliff or something. And I read that people actually try to get apartments, and they're like, "I want that apartment with that kind of view," and they're like, "Sir, that doesn't exist." And they're like, what now? Because that's how rich people are.
Yeah, you've got to be so rich if you're gonna like go to a realtor and demand that you get the Frasier apartment.
I want nothing less than the Frasier apartment. I want the ceilings to be 20 feet high. I want there to be a split level in the floor. I want there to be a perfect balcony that faces the whole Seattle skyline.
Are you being Frasier right now?
Yeah, I was being someone demanding a Frasier apartment. I was reading that people, because we were talking about that earlier, how people demand the Frasier view in their apartment when they go to Seattle.
That's so
like,
stupid.
Get a place.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's not a real view.
That's like a Mean Girls quote. The element or the whatever does not exist.
Yeah.
What's that line? I suck right now. I'm like, pizza, yay.
It's okay. I'm glad that your pizza. I'm glad that it's Marco's, and I know they deliver to my house now.
Yeah, they can deliver a movie and pizza, but
I need to get them to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, hey Marcos, want in on this?
I think someone I know knows somebody.
Okay.
Going back to Simon Moon, he was played by Anthony LaPaglia.
Yes.
Anthony LaPaglia. I know that name.
He was only on one episode of CSI. What were we talking about?
He's
Law
the
and
main
Order.
character.
He's the main character on Without a Trace. Jack
That's
Malone.
what it is.
Without a Trace! My mom used to watch that all the time, too. My mom watched, like, all those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I watched that so many times, I just kind of thought he was, like, a regular on some...
Yeah.
I love him. He is one of my favorite characters, like, one of my favorite reoccurring characters.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Actually, a lot of them are.
He was being pretty douchey to Frasier, which I like, because Frasier's a dick, but no, I want... Frasier and Kelsey Grammer, a little both.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to go back to what you said earlier about being a Seinfeld kid or a Frasier kid, and I feel like that was a definite thing. Like, 90s kids were the... And my mom, like, she watched Frasier, but she stopped like, she wasn't really into it, like, maybe in the early 90s, but she was, like, super into Seinfeld. Like, I watched a ton of Seinfeld. And
no one was on my team.
No one was on the team. Ben watched Frasier. He didn't watch Seinfeld, he watched Frasier. Yeah. So... You could only, like, handle one, like, highbrow comedy from the 90s as a child.
In my apartment. You want a piece of pizza?
Sure, I'll take a piece of pizza.
What's better for a podcast?
Sorry,
yeah, then really they can hear us eat the pizza.
Sorry, I'm like, no. It's really hot. But,
Will you hand me a piece, Ben?
Alright.
Thank you. It's pineapple pepperoni. I'm really excited about this because I've never had these two flavors together.
Okay. Do you need some peppers?
No. I don't like peppers. I'm a very bland man.
That's fine. So,
But yeah, there was a definite split, like, you know, George Costanza or Niles Crane. I don't know. Niles is pretty great after watching Frasier now. George Costanza's kind of an asshole, so it's hard to choose any of the Seinfeld
he's
people.
Just so whiny all the time.
A little bit of an asshole too sometimes.
I mean, yeah, they're assholes on Frasier.
Oh, yeah. but he's so lovely. I just love him.
Yeah. I saw. Did you watch that one last night? The one that I was telling you about, where Niles fills in. And the basketball player is like that one. Oh my god! And that one, he Niles helps a basketball player, like with his problem or whatever. Like he's like not scoring any goals, and he sees Niles filling in for Frasier because he's coming on for Bulldog show, and Niles helps him, and he's positive, blah blah blah, and then the basketball player wins the game that night, and then he thanks Niles Crane, and so Martin and everyone's so proud of Niles, and they invite him to the basketball game, and then the guy's I need some more of your help, Doc, because he's sucking. And Niles is well, do your blah blah blah. And he's I already did that. And then he's maybe it's because I rubbed your head, because he rubbed his head. So he rubs Niles' head, and then wins the game. So he thinks that that's how he wanted. Niles feels like a fraud because he didn't ever actually solve anybody's problems. But I watched that one because that's the one where Kelsey Grammer went to rehab, and Ben told me to watch it. They needed Niles' plot very quickly, so they just came up with one on the fly.
Yeah, well, the beginning, yeah. It was supposed to be for Frasier, but it ended up being for Niles.
Yeah, I think was the idea.
I was gonna say really quick about me being the only person that seems to love Frasier. I tried to show my love for Frasier by putting all of my DVDs on my mantle. And then guys would come over because I was freshly single and place and everything. And they would talk shit.
You need to do this as a stand-up joke. That you would bring men back to your lair and your Frasier DVDs were all on display for them.
So when I
it's hey, you watch Frasier, buddy? How do you feel about that time Roz and Frasier slept together?
Slept together? So I hid them. I took them down.
Oh no! So you were ashamed of it.
But as of 2 weeks ago, I put them back out, not on my mantle, but I rearranged my living room to make a nicer space for me. And I put them proudly in my cabinet. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's my TV, and then it's actually a record record holder, blah blah blah. But
you know what? That's a beautiful story. Like I'm like because it's sometimes it can be hard when you're like a fan of something and you kind of like get embarrassed by.
Yeah, like imagine if I had fucking all the seasons of like Barbie's favorite, like whatever,
My Little Pony or something like that.
That would be a little bit more weird. So I feel like people really do judge you based off of the series that you love.
Yeah. And I mean, especially the big thing I think though is like I used to make fun of Frasier and I didn't know anything about it. I was just like Frasier. That's like a show that like people that are my parents watch. Mm-hmm. You know, I was like a snotty little kid, and like I never watched it. And then I would watch it sometimes in reruns. And I was like, eh. I never really dug Cheers that much. Like as a kid, I would like turn it on sometimes. I think I like didn't like it mainly because my brother liked it, and I used to like love hating things my brother liked just because I was like, ugh. He ruined it for me or whatever. But Cheers, like, Frasier's, I don't know, a super different character on Cheers, too. So it's super weird going back to that. A lot of times,
I'm like, that's not the same person, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, Kelsey Grammer has said in an interview that, like, it's not really the same because they, like, retcon a bunch of stuff, like his dad and his being an only child and like where he's from.
I listened to this podcast called Talk Salad and Scrambled Eggs. Mm-hmm. And it's Frasier Reconsidered with Kevin Smith and
I've heard of that.
And they were saying how like according to I can't remember exactly what they said and it sucks. But according to like something that was said in Cheers. Mm-hmm. The real ending of Frasier is like, you know, he dies, or he gets married back, he gets back with Lilith, or he doesn't, or some weird, and I really feel like a failure.
How does Cheers end with Frasier? I forget what happens to him.
I don't know.
I've seen the last episode of Cheers.
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't seen it.
We're ill prepared for this moment.
I'm more of a Frasier television, like the whole cast and crew.
You're like Frasier's way different than Cheers, but it's interesting that Frasier's a spin-off.
I was hardcore enough to know what Frasier's character was like.
Like you know, like there's Cheers episodes of Frasier. Yeah.
I'm a Frasier the television show.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being.
No, I know.
So like.
I know, but I'm saying I don't even know what happens at the end of Cheers. I should have checked. But I know that, I mean, like, because Ben was telling me that the premise was originally, like, he was a paraplegic. They wanted to do, like, a whole new show, and he was going to have, like, a sassy Latina nurse, like come be his, because she's paraplegic. And then the network was like, why don't you just make a Frasier show? And they were like, we don't want to. And they were like, you can, but you can, like, make it way deaf. And they were like, alright. So then they were like, they wanted to set it as far away from Boston as possible. They were, like, so obsessed with it not being, like, Cheers. Like, I read that, like, they didn't have any stools in the coffee shop. Because if someone saw a stool, God forbid, they would think it was Cheers. So they, like, and then I just love the whole Genesis.
He doesn't even go to a bar anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I thought he liked to drink.
He's a changed man.
It's weird.
Like,
yeah,
he's
it's
living
like
with his family now.
Yeah, that's true.
His
and
dad...
really, the only reason he went to Cheers was to see Diane in the first place, because he was, like, dating her or whatever. And the whole Sam and Diane thing, because you know Diane comes back on Frasier too, a lot.
And Sam does, and
they all do.
Everybody except Kirstie Alley.
Kirstie Alley,
when Frasier was first in development, she told the producers that as a Scientologist, she did not believe in psychology. It would not be available to appear on Frasier. And they responded with, "I don't believe we ever asked."
Whoa!
That's an awesome response.
That's a hot gossip, though. We want Kirstie Alley as a Wichita native to know we love her. She tweeted my mom once.
I wish she would tweet. I love her too. I'm not gonna lie.
She's great. It would have been cool to see Rebecca on Frasier, because Rebecca's like one of my favorite Cheers characters. Honestly, she's hilarious, and she's way better than Diane. Shelley Long. I say her name all the time.
I confuse Shelley Long and Shelley Duvall for I don't know why.
Shelley Duvall.
I get Warren Beatty and Warren Beatty mixed up.
Warren B.
Or-
I
is that-
don't even know if those are two different people. I used to get, when I was a kid, Nicolas Cage and John Cusack mixed up. And sometimes I still do. Anyway, that's not important. But no, I wanted to talk a little bit about the genesis of Frasier, like the beginning of it, because it's so weird. Like we talked about the Cheers being spun off thing, and then like the way that it was cast, like they had Daphne. She was like a leftover from the idea of him being a paraplegic, because she's like a live-in nurse, and they're like, well, like let's make it about Frasier and his father. And so they like unwrote whatever, and they didn't even have any lines ready whenever what's his face, the guy who plays Martin, was cast. John Mahoney and David Hyde Pierce, like they were cast without ever reading anything. And David Hyde Pierce was cast because they like brought up that picture of him to the people making Frasier, and they were like, doesn't this guy look like Kelsey Grammer? And they were like, yeah, he totally does. And so they were like, we need to write a Frasier's brother character, like without ever even seeing him act. And then Niles became like the most popular character, which is crazy. But then the other thing that was weird is that Roz was originally Lisa Kudrow.
I know, I was just about to say that.
Isn't
You
that
know all the facts.
isn't that so weird?
Well, and it was
I used Wikipedia well, Jessica.
Oh, well, I listened
most
to...
of these things last night.
I've been using Wikipedia well.
On Tossed Salad and Scrambled Eggs,
Yeah.
eggs, they get Perry Gilpin on there, and she tells the story.
What is there like bitchiness involved in the story?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm glad. Lisa Kudrow's a classy lady.
Lisa Kudrow.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say it didn't work out for Lisa Kudrow, but like
We talked about how it did and how crazy that was. And,
yeah.
How now they're like really good friends. I guess you said they're neighbors.
Well, like Lisa Kudrow, I feel like is probably a better fit for the Phoebe character than like Carrie Gilpin is for. I mean, like she's better. Like Roz, she wouldn't be as good as Roz. I think the woman who's playing Perry Gilpin as Roz, and like I was also thinking about Perry Gilpin playing Phoebe because I thought that would be like a funny universe where it was like Roz as Phoebe. Like I was trying to do an impression of it, like. Ross,
Frasier special.
I stole your backpack when we were.
They switched the Friends of Frasier, where they like a sketch maybe.
Yeah, I kept trying to do the impression to Ben of Roz as Phoebe, and I just kept saying Frasier. I was like, why is Frasier in the Friends universe? Frasier. I was beaten as a child, and that's all I remember about Phoebe too, is that she was beaten as a child and like lived in gangs.
I've seen every episode of Friends.
I have seen every episode of Friends. I watched it all in syndication. I just like wanted to do that for fun. So I went through Wikipedia and I was like marking them off as I watched them all weirdly out of order.
That's cool.
It was fun.
This sounds like something I would do.
I had a Microsoft Word document of the episodes I hadn't seen. There was like 8 left at one point, and I was like, I'm on the hunt. Anyway. But yeah, so Frasier was like conceived very weirdly. Like it had like a lot of weirdness involved. And then also the ending theme song, they were like, we don't want it to be about psychiatry. So he just like started singing about crazy nonsense, and they were like, alright, this works.
I don't know what
With my chopped salad and scrambled eggs. I was listening to it the other day and I never noticed the part where he's like, I got scrambled eggs all over my face. Whenever he like goes crazy.
Never heard that.
I had never noticed it.
Frasier used to be my ringtone in high school.
The end theme song?
Yep.
That's funny because I'm glad because whenever I was a teenager, my ringtone was I Will Go Down With This Shit by Dido. One time it played in my history class. I don't feel as bad. Also, I had Gilligan's Island as my ringtone in middle school when I first got a cell.
I was in high school and yeah.
Cruising the halls, getting the chopped salad and scrambled eggs, and your friends were like, Jessica's got a text.
No, text messaging wasn't a thing then.
Oh yeah, because texting came around like...
Well, like, it costs 10 cents to... It costs money for people.
Yeah. You were class of 07, right?
And if you had text messaging...
I had texting like my senior year of high school. That was like the first year that everyone kind of could do it, and it wasn't like limited. Like people weren't like, oh, it's going to cost me, I don't know,
Yeah.
Texting, the history of texting.
I would say this was in 2005 or something.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was like your ring tone. So like when your boyfriend was calling you, he was too intimidated by your Frasier collection. No. He was like, "This girl's gonna outwit me at every turn."
No boys in my high school were ever trying to get with me.
Because the Frasier collection. That's why I blame it on that.
Theater person.
Yeah, theater. I was a theater
kid too. I was too busy building my personality.
Yeah. I was too busy, like, making memories.
5 pieces of pizza.
So, okay, this next question, I hope we can talk about your art a little bit. Okay. What's the nerdiest Frasier thing you've done in honor of Frasier? Like, fan thing, I mean.
Definitely what is on my computer.
What is the art? You never showed it to us, and then you mysteriously put it away. Like, I'm afraid that it's, like, sex portraits of like Roz and Frasier, or Roz and Daphne, in a forbidden moment of passion.
Here's the thing. It was.
Jessica left the mic for a moment, just so everybody knows. It was a project.
It was so it was my last year in college.
Oh, so you were a college lady, you'd explored and.
Yeah, it took me 7 years to explore. And I had senioritis like a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And so my last project, I don't even remember what it really was. I think it was you could do whatever you wanted. Mm-hmm. Which makes it worse. Oh God. Anyway, and so I wanted to make little Frasier masks.
Okay.
Little cutout masks, but like a graphic design it, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was going to be real flat and vector-like. And I did it very last minute. Maybe same day it was due.
That's college.
Which, and I had this teacher, this particular teacher, I have so much respect for, and I never half-assed his class. I always, I mean, toward the end maybe, but anyway, I did not get a good review on my Frasier mask. So,
yeah.
These are my reference photos, and I only did 3 though. And so they're supposed to go on a stick, and then you punch the eyes out.
Uh-huh.
Like this hipster girl wants to, you know.
Can we include these on our blog so people can see? Okay, good. So I'm excited about these.
Marty.
Who is that modeling with them?
The internet model.
You photoshopped it?
Mm-hmm. I just like Googled like girl holding like stick mask.
This girl just with a Frasier mask on her face.
Is that not the nerdiest thing you've ever seen? The only one that really I mean, if they don't even really look like those characters.
They do. They do.
Or something.
They do.
And he needs more,
Daphne looks like a little bit of like a witch, though. She looks like she's about to cast a spell on somebody.
I know. I should have made. I don't know.
You took that sassy picture where she's like.
I literally have not looked at that in almost. It's like it'll be 2 years in like May or something.
2 years. Damn. But that's a you know, people do weird stuff. I once wrote a research paper on Cordelia Chase, who's a character from Buffy the Vampire Slayers. So, for my feminism class in college. So we all do some weird things for the stuff we love.
If you gotta do an assignment, might as well do something you know a lot about.
I guess I just don't understand really my infatuation. Like, you've met me. Mm-hmm. You've seen my stand-up before, Ben. Would you ever, you know, ring me for a
big Frasier fan?
For this much nerdiness?
Here's the thing, though. There's lots of...
Would you?
Not really. Like, I was surprised when Chance said that you suggested Frasier, but I mean...
There's lots of weird people who I wouldn't expect to be in a Frasier. Like, the guy who created Adventure Time, Pendleton Ward, and, like, all of his friends who... They're, like... animators, like weird kind of adventure timey animators, artists. They're like super into Frasier, and they'll always post like vines and like screenshots of Frasier, and I'm always like, oh my god, like they're watching Frasier and like Star Trek. And Marlo Meekins, who's a comedian on like Vine and on Twitter, who I love, was tweeting about it the other day, and she favorited because she was tweeting about Eddie, always how he always has his tongue out, and I tweeted at you to like at you in on that tweet, and then she faved that tweet. I was like, all I did was tweet at Jessica, but yeah, Marlo's she's always faving, or like there's not faving is not the official terminology.
No, it's the worst.
You like tweets now, so they changed it to hearts. Now everybody was outraged.
I've been out of the Twitter game for a long time. I need to reacquaint myself.
Probably. Now that we're running a podcast, probably. There's a lot of people that are into Frasier. It has like it's a really smart show. Like at first I was so surprised that it won so many Emmys because it was critically loved in its day. I was like, I don't understand. But like, it came from the age where multicam sitcoms were like still a big deal, and I always am a little like I'm skeptical of multicam sitcoms, but I've like realized that I usually give the exception to the 90s. So the 90s had great multicam sitcoms like Seinfeld and Roseanne and Seinfeld and Roseanne and Seinfeld and Friends and Frasier are all pretty good. So
I have a big issue with laugh tracks. I have an issue with television.
Yeah.
And it sucks, like, because I have such a theatrical brain sometimes when I watch this stuff that when I hear the laugh tracks, they bother me.
It is a little that's one of the reasons I don't like multicams is the cam laughter, and a lot of times it's studio laughter.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking being an asshole. I get it, and
I do.
Some of those laughs on Frasier are real.
Well, I mean, they are. I mean, I think that they did film it before a studio audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did. I mean, you have to have. I mean.
Yeah, I don't doubt that they're all real. Those shows are just. They're so weird because when they film them, they have a comedian come, and then like the comedian like hypes. Like if you move to LA, that could be like your job for a while. Is like hyping people before sitcoms, and then like they watch the sitcom, and then like the way that they do it, like because they have to do the punchline joke, like they have to do a specific kind of joke. That's the only thing they can do. And then like if the joke doesn't work, they have to like they go and rewrite the joke right there, and then they refilm it. And so there's a lot of starting and stopping when you're watching. It's not like watching a play, like it's all tweaky all over the place. And Frasier,
tweaky all over the place.
But Frasier has a lot. It has a lot of good like puns and like wordplay and witty humor. Yeah, very witty humor.
It's stupid witty. And I even hate saying that it's witty because even that sounds pretentious.
But that's the appeal of it.
I love that it's so witty.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love this show.
But we kind of talked about the multicam thing. I had another question for you, and this might be, you might have something else. Is there anything you don't like or would change about Frasier? Like
the character or the show?
The show. Like any, like, I don't know, maybe like a character you don't like that's in there, or like a plot line that you weren't into.
There was a plot line I'm not into. Do you know the character Kirby?
No.
Okay, Ross slept with him once.
Okay.
Kirby's this young dude, high schooler.
Oh, okay, but is he 18?
With him. I think she just went to prom with him.
What? This story is just getting weirder. There's an episode of Frasier where Ross goes to prom.
Yeah.
With the boy.
It doesn't actually follow through.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so but Kirby's mom and Frasier dated for a minute, and I just was never convinced of that character and like how he could be into her. And
Kirby into Roz, or
no, sorry.
Kirby's mom into Frasier.
I'm all over the place. I gotta get my brain together.
No, you're fine.
So it's Kirby's mom. Yeah, if you can help me look it up, that would be cool. Kirby's mom.
Kirby Gardner, played by Brian Klugman.
Brian Klugman. So it just was. It wasn't really. Was it like an episode long thing, or
it
was
it like
multi?
Oh,
it was like
episode of Fear. Like they were like dating between her and another broad. And then he was like, okay, I don't want to be with that other broad, even though that other broad was perfect in my opinion. And then he like tries to get back with Kirby's mom, and at the same time, some random guy was like trying to get Frasier's advice on life, and Frasier convinced him. You know, this is a side story. Frasier convinces him, you know, if he loved that woman, go get her. Which is exactly what he's about to go do, you know. Frasier's about to go get the woman that he loves, which is Kirby's mom.
Yeah.
So he runs to, like, Kirby's graduation party to get back with this woman, and who comes busting through the door is Kirby's dad, who is, who Frasier just gave advice to go get the woman you love.
Oh, so it's like a round robin.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, that character... she was loud. They were never meant to be together.
It sounds like it was just a plot written to, like, get to that punchline.
Also, I'm not sure, but that could be around the same time that Daphne was getting fatter. Or she
was pregnant.
Yeah. Or she,
in real life.
My memory's everywhere. I can't keep the timeline together.
But, well, Ben was talking about that. She got pregnant in real life, and then they were like... Oh, she's just stress eating. Like, they just said she was getting fat.
She was stress eating because Niles had this grand idea of her, and they just got together, and she's like years and years of him thinking that this is the woman that I am, and like I can't ever fulfill his fantasy.
Oh,
so
damn.
She was starting to do it through food, and it started becoming a problem, and they make some pretty good fat jokes. I mean, they really do. But, I'm sorry. Like, it's just that it's terrible, but they do make some good ones.
No.
And they get rid of all the candy, and she's, like, planting it throughout the apartment, and it's just really funny. Sorry.
Daphne's fat face. That's a moment you wouldn't change. It was a good one. Okay, so the next segment of questions, I just really want to go through just a little lightning round. So you're just going to answer these a little rapid fire. These are quick little thingies.
Okay.
So who's your favorite Frasier character?
I knew you were going to ask that, and I can't rapid fire that.
Like, I figured it would be Roz.
No, see, no.
You're not into Roz? But you showed like 2 episodes about Roz.
I know. And I respect, I think, okay, sorry this isn't rapid fire. Can I just kind of go in and talk about each character? Oh no, I can't.
Just pick, what are your top 3?
The thing about Roz is I didn't really like her at the beginning. She was my least favorite character.
Because all she did was really sleep with a bunch of men.
No, it wasn't her character. I didn't like her acting.
Oh.
And I didn't think it fit the Roz part.
Yeah.
But the more I watched it, the more Roz is Perry Gilpin is Roz. Like, they're the same person to me now.
I get that, because I kind of have that.
Raspy Texas boys.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't always feel like it fits in, but she has a good...
Seattle?
Yeah.
Well, she's not. She's from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But she doesn't sound like she's from Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's from Milwaukee.
The character Roz?
Well, didn't you just get done watching... Yeah,
Roz? I don't know.
The actress is from Texas. I'm pretty positive.
Okay, well, so you're not as into Roz.
Okay, I love Martin Crane.
Martin Crane, okay. He's up there.
I love him. Mm-hmm. I love Bulldog.
You love Bulldog?
I love Bulldog. He's hilarious. I love Niles. And I love Daphne and Frasier on the same kind of level. I love Daphne. She's funny. She gets funny, but I really love the other ones.
I can't believe you love Bulldog. That's such a weird... You know what's weird is that he was only like a cast regular from season 4 to season 6.
Yeah, he slows off.
So yeah, he's like there for a bit, and then they were like, we're not.
He comes back though.
I mean, yeah,
he's like Frasier, he loses his job, and he has different career points. You know, he does in-house psychology.
Okay. Yeah, so he's like not a radio host in the end. Like, he's not always a radio host.
Yeah, he goes in and out of it. Like, a couple nights ago, whatever season I was watching, he had been laid off and he's been trying to get his job back.
Yeah, I was seeing.
He does that multiple
times. The first Do No Harm, that episode.
You'd think he was like in the, airplane industry with how much his job is at risk.
Like, what the hell? And he's like paid so highly for a radio psychiatrist.
Yeah, he is.
He like owns like a Michael Jackson mansion apartment.
Yeah. He really is.
All of these like ancient African artifacts and like the finest furniture. Okay, so the next rapid fire question: what's your favorite episode?
High Holidays.
High Holidays, which is one we just watched right before we started recording this.
Season 11, episode 11.
Season 11, episode 11, and is about Martin getting high and
so good.
Accidentally, and Niles thinking he was high, which is always funny in a sitcom, and then Frasier's never seen son.
Whatever,
is goth.
You see him when he's
No, I know, but people make jokes all the time about like Frasier and like Ross on Friends, like they're both fathers, but their kids are like barely ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, how often do they see their children?
In Frasier's defense, Lilith and Frederick do live in Boston.
Yeah, they live in Boston.
Makes a lot more sense than Ross.
They reference him periodically throughout the show.
Yeah.
We watched that camping episode the other day.
Yeah.
But there's no picture of him up anywhere. It's all fine art.
Yeah, that's true.
There are no portraits anywhere.
He's often goes episodes without being mentioned.
Even in his bedroom, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, but that is a good episode. It's silly. Would you say Frasier stayed fresh throughout? You never dropped the shark for you? I don't know if some people have a point. I don't know if the Niles Daphne thing is listed or Ross sleeping with Frasier or whatever.
I think around season 7 is a little weird.
Mm-hmm. It's always weird when, especially a show with that. I mean, they do 24 episodes a year. It's like after a while they're gonna have a bit of a break.
You gotta rest.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta not let too much shit happen so you can have more shit happen later on.
Yeah. And there's 90s sitcoms are good for that. I mean, like Seinfeld and Friends, I also feel like never like hit a point where they were like terrible.
The interesting part about Frasier is because he has so many different love lives coming in and out is, when you do jump into it, like let's say we're living in the 90s and it's turned on, it's like, okay, you don't even know you have to follow the storyline a little bit.
Yeah.
Is where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
But you're not totally lost. Like, you can still watch out of the blue and be fine.
Yeah, like most sitcoms, you can hop on in.
But I love that there's still a story, like, that there's still those characters that you invest in.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question here. What's your favorite season of the show? Do you have a favorite season?
I think that season 11 is pretty good for being the last season in a show. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a favorite season.
Okay.
I tend to what I do is I close my eyes. I used to not even, put my DVDs in, when I, threw them off the shelf, I just threw them under something, and then I close my eyes and pull out a box and just start watching it.
Okay.
So I don't really know.
So you don't have a favorite because I don't know if they have season long plots or whatever. If there's anything like that. I guess you can usually break it apart by seasons, but I don't know if I've seen enough of Frasier. I know his hair's different. Yeah. You can tell when it's an early episode.
Yeah. I do enjoy starting it with number 1. So there's that. And for a while I didn't have my DVD player remote for a year and a half. So anytime I wanted to watch it, I'd have to watch all or none. So I've seen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because I couldn't get to play all. So I recently bought a universal remote because I was so upset for going so long. And now I can just, I can indulge in whatever episode I want.
Yeah, you can hop, skip.
I know there's Netflix, but
my Netflix always freezes. But okay, so and then the next question I have: Do you have a favorite. This might be a weird question. You probably don't. But do you have a favorite fan theory about Frasier at all? Like, have you heard any fan theories, or do you have any fan theories? Like any weird
let me think.
background. I was gonna say I can read one for you that I found that someone has a fan theory about Martin that his leg should have gotten better much earlier, and that this detective on the internet here thinks that he fakes it so that Daphne will stick around because he wants Niles and Daphne to get together like all those years. So he like is already better from like all the exercises, but like he doesn't want Daphne to leave yet. So he's like, it's not time. They haven't gotten there. He's like being a little Cupid Martin.
I think that they misdiagnosed him and he was never going to actually get better. But they kind of transitioned her out of physical therapist. I mean, you don't really catch her.
Yeah, she's sort of just like the maid, kind of, at like a point. Which is hilarious because I guess she's probably like a PhD physical therapist. I don't know what you have to have to be a physical therapist.
I really miss the fact that she was psychic.
Oh, me too! I love that early on. Yeah, the psychic, whatever. Because they have, we watched the pilot, the first few episodes. Because Niles and Daphne don't even meet till like the third episode. I was like, damn.
Yeah. They do wait.
And then Niles is like immediately like hot for her or whatever. But she's like goofy in the first few episodes. She's like, I'm psychic and I don't get social clues at all.
Beep boop. We experienced some technical difficulties. The audio will now jump forward.
But like, it could have been. They could have had the last few seasons be like Frasier and Roz. That might have turned a lot of people to be like, ew. But it could have worked, honestly. I think they balance each other well. They're both terrible parents. They're both.
I think she's too freaky.
She's too freaky deaky in bed.
Yeah.
But he's like a psychiatrist, so it like evens out though. They magnetize each other.
You're not gonna really convince me that they really should.
All right.
I don't feel like anybody should end up with Frasier. Who wants to Frasier?
No,
that's a good point, man.
Man, I don't like this interview anymore.
Frasier, he is a bit of a dick, though. A little bit of a dick.
He's had girls in the past that he's really worked out with.
That's true.
He is a dick, all right? But he so overanalyzes what he does that...
And he feels bad.
Yeah, he's just constantly trying to give himself some kind of therapy, and he's addicted to women, even though maybe that's not something that's totally said in the series. Like, or relationship. He wants to be with someone forever, but he finds a way to sabotage it. And I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of weird.
Well, no, and it's like, it is a little relatable. Like, I feel relatable in that sense with Frasier, where, like, he's always, like, worried about the way he's, like, come off, or, like, what he said, or if he's being, like, honest enough or whatever to a person.
Yeah, it's not even just women.
And I'm just a good person.
Yeah, it's
no. But no, I feel that struggle with him.
He self-sabotages in everything he does because he wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And he does
he's
the
a good
wrong
guy.
thing, but then he does the right
He's
thing.
much more straight man. Like, they had to make him a lot more of a straight man character, like, that you could relate to than he was on Cheers, where he was kind of like a joke. Like a psychiatry joke, psychology joke, I don't know.
He was a punchline.
Yeah, he was more of like an eccentric character on Cheers, and they had to make him like more grounded on Frasier, so that all the eccentric characters in his life wouldn't seem like they needed something.
Him.
Yeah.
Go to the other side of the freaking country.
That's true, and he's from Seattle, I guess. So
yeah.
I
mentioned her also that anytime someone says Seattle, they're from Seattle, I always say, "Come to Seattle." And that's based off of what I said my favorite episode was no one ever gets
that dog.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Come to
Okay, wait, I wanted to talk about Eddie too really quick because my mom's so into this Eddie talk. My mom, like, when she found out we were doing Frasier, she was like, yeah, you need to talk about the dog. And I'm like, what about the dog, Mom? And she's like, everybody's into the dog. There was 2 dogs, and he was like the breakout. He was on TV Guide. And I was like, okay. And then I looked it up, and I found out that the second Eddie was bred in the middle of Frasier specifically because they knew they were going to need another Eddie, which I think is so depressing. They were like, this is going to be a long-running sitcom. This dog's going to die.
Moose.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to look that up, podcasters.
The first dog was named Moose, and the second one is named, I have the, Enzo, yeah. Yeah. And
Enzo.
I read Perry Gilpin has, she has a...
Offspring?
She has an offspring of Eddie's. It's like the dog who played Eddie. So she has like one of Eddie's children in her house.
They needed to like match his
that,
markings exactly so that
yeah.
you know, he needed to breed.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. How you said Perry Gilpin tweeted at you.
Oh my god! Okay.
Or she favorited a tweet.
She favorited a tweet.
She gave you a fave. Gave a fave.
Well, one day I was nerding out and listening to that Frasier Reconsidered podcast. And I was just trying to respond to it. And Perry Gilpin, I said they were talking about trying to get her on the show.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I guess I better tweet at her so she'll pay attention and get onto the show. So I said, at Talk Solid Pod, at Perry Gilpin. My favorite episode with Roz is Roz and the Schnoz.
Roz and the Schnoz, which we watched.
She favorited it, and it was before the favorites turned into likes.
Okay, so it was like a real fave.
It was a real favorite.
It was a true fave.
I have, the email notification that says she favorited it.
I love that. I used to screenshot those when Mark Maron favorited my tweet once. I was like,
oh my god. Isn't that weird? How we just get so tickled.
I know, and it's funny because I used to get way more excited about it than I do because Danny DeVito tweeted at me once, and I was like, Danny DeVito tweeted at me. I was like 20 in college, and I was so into Matilda, and like I was so stoked, and like everyone was like, it's not really Danny DeVito. They have like a team of people who tweet for them, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Danny DeVito tweets his ugly foot every day, so. I'm pretty sure it's him. He used to tweet his foot, and he would hashtag troll foot.
Tweeted at me was Will Wheaton, and I'm pretty sure he's running his own.
Yeah. Will Wheaton is all over the internet.
The real what's her face from Orange Is the New Black.
Oh, Piper, the real Piper, and the one who wrote the book.
Yeah, she retweeted some shit that so and when I went to LA, I went to this restaurant we went for breakfast, and the people that make the food and the people that serve the food are all inmates, or they're like former inmates.
Yeah.
And there's a bread side, and then there's another for the men. The men make the bread, and it's a big bakery. And then on the other side is called Homegirl Cafe. Homegirls, because these are fucking real homegirls.
Yeah.
They're fucking prison and shit. Anyway, and I tweeted it, and then, Facebook.
One of those social apps.
Yeah, Twitter Instagrammed it. And someone else tweeted that out to Orange Is the New Black.
Piper.
And so Piper liked it. Coleman.
It's not. Is it Kerman? I don't know.
So long fucking story short.
So she retweeted. Yeah. I've had some good Twitter moments. But I also I did want to just reiterate how weird that is that they bred a dog for Frasier. Like, that's a big deal. That's how you know your sitcom's a big deal. They're like, well, we gotta get the dog ready for the next 8 years. Anyway, but no, here's a question. Here's a question that me and Ben talked about once that I just think would be interesting to discuss for a little bit. Since Kelsey Grammer played Frasier for so long, 22 years he was playing that character. Do you think he ever dreamed as Frasier? Like, he was, like, in the Frasier skin so much
Oh, yeah.
that he would dream that he was Frasier, like, living his life?
I'm sure he thought in Frasier.
Oh, God. That's probably why he, like, became an alcoholic and, like, had his breakdowns.
God, it's taking over my life.
I've been Frasier for 20 years! This is awful! He, like...
God, I can't get laid!
Sideshow Bob sweat, like, seep in there a little bit.
Does that.
Yeah, because that's like a Frasier joke, sort of, too. Yeah. Sideshow Bob is a very Frasier-y character. Well, they have the episode where Niles plays Sideshow Bob's brother, or whatever.
When I was first starting to nerd out on Kelsey Grammer and Frasier, I looked up some stuff about him. I always hate it when someone I like a thing I love is actually a shit show in real life.
Yeah, he's conservative and like egotistical.
And he
like had his own like social website a few years back. It was like Kelsey.
That's not even what hurt me. What hurt me was I watched some kind of video.
What? What happened? I want to know. Do you watch Kelsey Grammer in a porn video like early in his career?
No, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard. They're bloopers, right? So it was a reel of bloopers of just like in television or whatever the worst thing. And it's him just falling right off a fucking stage.
So that was what ruined Kelsey Grammer for you?
I was just mostly like, just felt really bad and embarrassed for him, like he was a part of me.
Oh my god.
Can you please look that video up?
I don't know if we have time at this point.
We have to have time. Just type in Kelsey Grammer falling off a stage.
Type in Kelsey Grammer falling off a stage.
That came off probably as pretty creepy that I said he was a part of me, but like I was so into
No. I know you said that earlier that you felt you relate to Frasier.
Yeah.
So. But no, and okay, like I want to get to one of the last sections that we can watch the video, but one of the last sections we talk about, and that's current events involving Frasier. Is this where they are? Okay.
It is, but my computer's also blacking out. So
oh, okay.
I need to plug it in.
Plug it in.
All right. We're having some technical difficulties here momentarily.
Sorry, I was cracking up like right before the big reveal.
Well, one of the current events I know we discussed Ben earlier is that there's Jane Leaves has said before there's not going to be a reunion. Like they've said that they don't want to do a reunion.
I don't mind it. I'm with that.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, it's okay to leave a sitcom be.
I wouldn't mind like a reunion, like commentary or something like that, but not like a reunion show.
Like them going to like Paley Fest or something, like and talking in an interview.
Is that what you even meant by a reunion? What kind of reunion?
Like a reunion, like have an episode on TV.
Yeah, fuck that
like
shit.
A reunion episode or a season or whatever.
Yeah, none of them want to do anything that could tarnish the reputation of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is really just weird to see how tiny Jane is in that.
In real life?
Well, in the episode, and then I see her, I don't know, then I saw her in that Hot
in Cleveland.
Yeah, she just looks so much older than, like, everyone looks older.
Yeah. Well, there hasn't been much Frasier news, obviously, since it's been off the air for like 10 years.
Yeah.
But,
over 10, but...
Yeah, over 10 now.
I did find an article on Where Are They Now. Kelsey Grammer has had 2 failed shows, Boss and Partners.
Yep.
He was
Remember those.
He played a villain in the 4th Transformers.
He plays a really good villain.
He was in Expendables 3, so I'm sure he's still got that cash flow coming. David Hyde Pierce has been acting and directing in plays, and that's
well, he's in the Wet Hot American Summer prequel too.
That's true.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh,
it's so funny. It's so funny. I love it. He's in it. He's only in like 1 episode because he's. Have you ever seen the movie, like the original movie, Wet Hot American Summer? He's like next door, he meets the whole camp. It's like the last day of summer, so it's the first day of summer in the prequel. So he doesn't know any of them yet. But they have like an episode where like there's like a little like the beginning of the episode is just like him going through his tenure thing at work. It's like a very quick. I don't know. It's funny. It's David Hyde Pierce. He's always funny. Everyone thought he voiced Stewie on Family Guy. I remember that. There was like a joke in Family Guy once.
Huh, I could see that.
Yeah. See, my dogs are out now. This is why we need to start wrapping up the podcast. No. We should, wrap it up.
The last Where Are They Now I'll say is that Jane Leeves and Perry Gilpin, who played Daphne and Roz, are now next door neighbors and the godmothers of each other.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I love it when people actually like each other.
Like Roz and Daphne weren't even. Louis, get out of here. Roz and Daphne weren't even like. They never hung out, too. Like Roz was Frasier's producer and Daphne was Martin's whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So wrapping this podcast up, we need to do some promotions real quick. So, Jess, do you have anything that you want to promote? I know you have your podcast. You want to talk about them a little bit?
I've recorded 2 different podcasts. The first one is Midwest Digest.
Yes.
You can find us on Twitter at the Midwest Digest.
Yeah, great podcast.
It's
I hope to be on it eventually.
You'll see one day.
Wink.
It has to, you have to let it happen.
I know.
And then the other one, and so that's 6 people. And then the other one is called You Breast Believe.
Yeah.
The letter U. You Breast Believe. And it's a panel of 4 women, girls,
Very feminist. I want to be on that podcast more, actually.
Yeah. Well, that one right now is just like just us 4. We haven't had anyone on it yet, so when we have only released just a few episodes, but we've been recording every Thursday almost. So
it's like a hot women's take on whatever.
Yeah.
Any topic.
I know, it's a terrible whatever. We just talk about whatever.
It's like The View,
but we're pretty.
We're edgy.
Sometimes we're really intelligent. Sometimes we just sound like we don't know anything.
I listen.
Like Trivial Pursuit.
I was gonna say, I listened to you guys talking about whether you would fuck Howard the Duck once or something.
We were talking about the movie, not if he would fuck her. But yeah, and then you can follow me on Instagram.
Well, I think you were talking about how he was like dating a human woman or something.
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
were banging.
Yeah.
Had sex.
Integral part of the Howard the Duck character.
Yeah. But
So.
I'm on Instagram at Gum Under My Shoe, and I'm on Twitter at Gum Under My Shoe, and I'm on Facebook Jessica K K-A-Y.
And look out for her Jessica page. She does those shows sometimes.
Jessica Page. So yeah, that's it. Do you guys want?
Let's finish the show by watching Kelsey Grammer fall off of a stage.
Okay.
Will you turn it a little bit?
Yeah.
What is this, like during Frasier?
No, this is like during an awards thing.
Kelsey Grammer falls off stage. Accurate.
Trip through It's a Small World, pretending I was a UN interpreter.
Ah. Is he drunk?
I don't know, but it sucked that we missed all of it.
I know, I like cut out.
Pretending I was a UN interpreter.
Are people laughing?
I think. Wow.
Like, it's not funny.
Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. He looks like so vulnerable right now and sad. It's like the darkest moment of his life, Jessica, and you're just like, I bet that was like when he was at his drunkest like
Didn't
moment.
I just say that I was feeling for him?
Yeah.
Come on, but it's so funny.
No, I know.
Like when I watched it, I was like, oh my god. Like,
Yeah.
My hero, not my, he was not my hero, but like this guy I've been like rooting for.
Yeah.
This whole series just. Right?
It's a small world,
Oh.
pretending I was a UN interpreter.
Pretending I was a uniter.
He probably hurt his dick. Like, I don't
Yeah, it looks like he hurt his
I don't
dick.
even understand
It's
how
so sad. He doesn't even try to make a joke to the audience. Like, do you know how embarrassing that is? He like goes, he talks, he's like, oh, that was bad.
Yeah. Like, the video's so...
I can't keep watching this.
So sorry for my language. I know, it's pretty bad.
Oh
I don't know
God.
what to do with my toss. I don't know what to do.
He tossed his salad and he scrambled it, and he scrambled his eggs.
What to do about my tossed salad?
That's what he's singing about in that song, is when he felt the same. Alright, guys, I think that's a good way to wrap up Stuff Lovers. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Stuff Lovers, pizza!
Stuff Lovers out.